So we have an urgent situation, everyone. Following the God TA mission, we of course move into the Death Knight mission, which is involving rescuing Flame. And such an important situation would lead us to only do one thing. That's Dear Bonding episode 3. Believe that's the one we're on at this point. We have filled up all of these. And of course, we start with any of the rank ups we have for Byleth. So let's get started with those.
Professor, have you been looking for me again? I am very busy, you know. I must insist that disruptions for light-hearted chats of this kind be kept to a minimum.
I've been getting more complaints.
What did I tell you about falling victim to such salacious and slanderous rumors? As I've told you, there is obviously a conspiracy against me. There is no manner in which I could possibly be considered bothersome.
The girls actually do seem bothered.
Professor, I assure you, you have been deceived. My adversary has poisoned the hearts of these ladies against me. The plot goes deeper than I thought.
This could become a serious issue.
All right, let's not get carried away. Please understand, Professor. I am not some scoundrel out for conquest. I am attempting to fulfill my duty as heir of House Gloucester. It is my responsibility to continue our noble line by finding a suitable lady to be my wife. It is a rigorous process. My family has the very highest standards for appearance, grace, temperament, and pedigree.
So commoners are excluded?
Typically, yes, even if others are sometimes critical of that notion. For the nobility, marriage is not merely a union of individuals, it is also a union of families. It would not benefit House Gloucester to be tied to a family of powerless commoners, would it? To achieve supremacy, it is necessary for my line to be tied to that of an influential family. That is the best path to peace and prosperity for all. So, as you can see, the future of the Alliance rests on my shoulders.
That's quite an obligation.
If it is a burden, it is one I am all too familiar with. We nobles are born to this duty. That being said, to avoid misunderstandings, I shall restrain myself until things calm down. I would rather not cause trouble for you after all.
I'm just saying, man. If he went on to social media and had to put out a statement that was like a picture of a notepad saying that, okay, the allegations against me for asking for Lasithia's nudes are not real. She never did that. She probably wanted it though. And it'd be like, fuck you, Lorenz. You fucking toe bastard.
All right, time to sneak off and do some painting. Professor, such lovely weather today, huh? I was, just about to go for a walk.
Why are you bringing paper?
What, this? No, it's, I'm sorry, Professor. I'll admit it. I was going to do some painting. You remember the place where we talked before? I've been painting the scenery there. I'm still keeping up with my academics and training, of course. I just paint in my spare time, as a change of pace.
You don't have to hide it.
Oh, I don't? Well, yes. Maybe you're right. I may have gotten ahead of myself. I'm sorry for panicking there. Honestly, I'm just worried that my father will find out that I've been painting.
I'm not gonna tell him.
Of course. Why would you go out of your way to tell him that? Completely illogical of me. But it seems I've developed a bit of a complex about it. My father's not a fan of my artistic pastime, you see. We're a merchant family, and my older brother is set to inherit the business. As for me, my father decided I should be a knight. That's why I'm at the academy. Painting won't help me become a knight. It's a waste of time.
Is that why you feel guilty about it?
Well, yes. I feel like I'm betraying my parents. I hear the business has been slow for them over the past few years. If I become a knight for an influential noble house, I could use my connections to help support them. My father was determined to send me here. He must have been, considering the enormous amount of money he spent. I don't think I'm well suited to being a knight. My parents sent me to the academy for their sake, not my own. When I think about how hard my family is working just to stay in business, how can I sit idly by? All of which is just to say that painting will have to remain my little hobby. Nothing more. Not that I could make a career out of it even if I wanted to. That's just a fantasy.
I think he's an alright lad. Oh boy.
Hey, Professor. There are a lot of hardworking people here at the Academy, huh? Even
And some
Claude.
not.
He acts carefree, but secretly he's so serious. Everyone focuses on training without even needing to be told. Maybe they think, I must protect my friends, even if I have to risk my neck.
You won't protect your friends?
Of course I'll try to protect them, but I don't understand why anyone would want to risk their life for someone else. When you die, no matter how you died, it's over. To me, it's more important to enjoy life. We only live once, after all. It's a waste to spend all your time working and being responsible, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, no matter what people may think, I'm going to keep being me. So in our next battle, I'll support everyone from the sidelines. Aw, come on, please. How about I do something for you as a way of saying thanks? Oh, I know! I'll let you join me for dinner in the city. Everyone would be jealous, you know? They'd all love to spend time with me. Okay, just think on it.
Okay, well, now that we're not at all thinking about anything that she said, because absolutely not, let's move on to Claude's.
Claude, are you aware of the most recent conflict within the Alliance?
Hello to you too, Lawrence. And you'll have to be more specific. The Alliance is always bickering over one thing or another.
Margrave Edmund is raising objections over the assignment of his troops to the eastern defenses.
If you please one noble, another will only gripe. No matter what happens, there will always be conflict.
That is just the kind of lackadaisical attitude that causes more conflict among us than necessary. Now, listen to me carefully. House Edmund may not hold much land, but the land they do control is quite rich. They also maintain a thriving port. Their influence is poised to rival even the most powerful players in the Alliance, yet they claim they cannot spare a fair share of troops? Do you find it acceptable to let such an obviously unreasonable objection stand?
It's not as though the threat of Elmira to the east has proven all that threatening of late.
Such negligence! What makes you so certain the Almirans will not attack us tomorrow? If certain dukes hold back their proper share of support, it will only serve to weaken House Goneril's hold of our eastern flank.
Calm yourself. I am well aware that the financial situation of House Edmund is quite exceptional. However, what you fail to realize is that they're lacking in troops. They're not lying when they say they don't have that many to spare. As it were, the Almirans have been nothing but peaceful since we refortified Fodlan's Locket. And are you aware that Margrave Edmund paid the majority of the costs for those repairs?
Is that so?
In fact, it's largely thanks to the skilled craftsmen he assembled that the fortress is now so impregnable. I, for one, wouldn't want to attack a fortress as formidable as that.
I do see your point. If House Edmund has already made its fair contribution, then that is all we can ask. Very well. I withdraw my objection. But even the sturdiest fortress needs soldiers to defend it. If we continue to squabble amongst ourselves, it will eventually fall.
Well, well, and here I thought he only cared about status. Still, if someone like him really came to lead the Alliance, it would not bode well for Elmira. Jeez, the water's supposed to be this cold. God, my hand slipped again.
Hey, what's that noise? What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm sorry, okay? Another fine mess I've gotten myself into.
What happened, Claude? You're soaked.
The student whose turn it was to do the dishes today was ill, so I volunteered to take his place. The dining hall lady was on my case the whole time for breaking plates and getting water everywhere. Actually, not everywhere, mostly on myself. It was just one big mess. It wore me right out, too. Could really use a nap about now.
You might be a noble with a fancy bloodline, but you sure don't act the part.
Being noble or common doesn't have anything to do with washing dishes.
Oh, I dare say most nobles would refuse to do it. But hey, I prefer it your way. You don't act like you're better than everyone.
I'm honored that you acknowledge my greatness. And I'm rather fond of your blunt way of praising a person's strengths, too.
Really? To be honest, I don't actually trust my own ability to read people. I like to look for the good in them, but that doesn't always mean it's really there. I mean, you seem like a good person, but your heart could be black for all I know.
You say you can't figure people out, but what you said just now was pretty shrewd. It's wise not to trust appearances alone.
I'll keep that in mind. Though, I'm not sure I should be taking advice from someone covered in dish suds.
Ah, yeah, I see your point.
He drowned that day.
Tell me, Marianne, do you have a love of flowers?
Well, I don't dislike them.
I've happened upon a spot that's just teeming with splendid blossoms. Would you like me to show you?
I think I would rather stay. It would be for the best if you kept your distance from me.
Well, perhaps I could pick a few of the nicest and present them to you. With a beautiful bouquet in your arms, your magnificence would rival even that of the goddess.
I would never compare myself to the beauty of the goddess.
I see. Well, I don't mind. Oh, that is a lovely handkerchief you've got there. Did you know that a handkerchief reflects the sensitivity of its owner? Yours tells me you have quite a refined sensibility. If you only applied yourself a little more to the rest of your ensemble, there is no doubt in my mind.
If you admire my handkerchief so much, you may have it.
No, please, that is not what I meant.
It was a gift from my adoptive father. I didn't choose it for myself. I'm sure I don't share his refined sensibilities, though, considering how little he and I have in common. I have to go.
Such beauty. And yet, with just a little polish, she'd be a marvel. If only she'd put in some effort. I wonder. Indeed, I shall make it my mission to awaken her beauty. There is nothing that I, Lawrence Hellman Gloucester, cannot do.
Sorry, I had a biscuit in my mouth. I was listening to Lorange be real dumb. Sorry, I'm gonna be real clingy and do these things, even though she clearly didn't want anything to do with me. But it's like Lorange is hold on. What I'm saying is he should mind his own fucking business, but what do I know? Maybe during A it'll be fine.
Thank you, Lawrence. You've done so much for me. You've been a tremendous help.
It was but a trifle. Surely there was no small amount of danger, but in the interest of experience, I was happy to endure.
You're so strong that I can't help but feel safe in your presence.
Yes, of course. Although, no matter how much brute strength we bring to bear, it is important that there be a leader on the field as well. Without someone possessed of my sound judgment and adaptability, we would surely be lost.
Surely, yes. My thoughts exactly. But,
What is it?
I'm going to keep providing support from the back. You wouldn't mind doing more fighting for me, would you?
Oh, well, physically, I can, certainly. But if you mean on an everyday basis...
I knew you would. You have the generous soul of a true noble. I'll have to write back home and sing your praises.
Really? You mean to your father and brother?
Oh, yes. I have to write my big brother pretty often, as a matter of fact. He gets upset if I don't. And yet, I never have much to write about. I've been really straining for topics. That must strike you as a terrible nuisance, the idea of me blabbing about you in my letters.
Nuisance? Oh, hardly. Your brother is one of the foremost commanders of the Alliance. I can think of no higher accolade than to have my name passed on to his noble ear.
Then I'll tell him about all your thrilling exploits. Although if you can't help, that's okay too. I'll find something else to write about.
Oh, fear not. I shall show you exploits of a nature more thrilling than you could ever dream. Incidentally, when you write to him, please do not refer to me merely as Lawrence. Please use my full name, Lawrence Hellman Gloucester. This will be an excellent opportunity to advance the status of the Gloucester name.
What a funny boy.
She's is still taking it for a ride.
Hello, Leonie. Busy as usual, I see.
Yep, lots to do. Not like you fancy nobles. Hey, can't you see all this stuff I'm carrying? Come on, move over already.
Alas, I cannot comply with your request.
Can't even ask a noble to take a step to the side, huh? That's a joke, right? You're kidding.
You've injured your foot. I could tell immediately by the way you are favoring it.
What?
Heavy lifting will only worsen the injury. Please, permit me to examine it.
Hey, cut that out! Isn't that improper or something, bowing to a commoner?
I am not bowing to you. I am tending your wound.
That's not what it'll look like. Hey, it's fine. Leave it.
Easing the burdens of the common folk is a natural obligation of the nobility. Now hold still and keep quiet for a moment, if you would be so kind.
That's a real pretty way to talk about sitting around in castles doing nothing. Let me tell you, everyone in my village is so grateful to be taxed up to the eyeballs for the privilege of... Ow!
Oh, it's quite swollen. And you're feverish. Fortunately, I do have an ointment here that should be of use.
What, you just carry that stuff around with you?
Certainly. It won't do to be unprepared if I happen across someone in need.
I don't get you, Lawrence.
It seems I've neglected to pack bandages. I'm afraid this handkerchief will have to suffice.
What, that fancy thing? Bit of a waste, isn't it? Hey, no thanks. I don't need some noble's pity.
What about the help of a friend? I am as much that as I am a noble, if you recall.
More of your weird logic.
There, that should ease the pain. And since you are recovering, allow me to carry this burden for you as well. There we are. Now, farewell.
I really don't understand that guy. Oh no, I completely forgot to thank him.
You know, I could say that was nice of him, but maybe he's just a foot guy.
Hey, Leonie, are you just getting back? Whoa, what's with the bag? It's huge!
Oh, this? I thought I'd get all my chores done at once. Guess it got a little out of hand. Sorry to be a pain, but could you help me out?
I'm happy to help. Where'd you go to get all this stuff?
Well, first it was just the cloth scraps from the tailor, and then it was the used oil from a restaurant in town. After that, it was the books the scholars didn't know what to do with. I mean, that was just on the way.
Whoa, it sounds like you did a lot of running around today.
It wasn't so bad. I just figured it would save time if I did it all in one trip.
You planned all that out? Impressive! What are you gonna do with all that stuff you got?
The scraps will be good for dishcloths, and I can make soap from the oil. The books are just to help with my studies.
You really can't let anything go to waste, can you?
Nope, can't stand the idea.
Who knew you were so thoughtful? I mean, with actual thinking ahead. You're so generous to everyone and always making me food. I never knew how much thought you must put into it.
I cook to relax, and it's nice seeing how enthusiastic you get about eating what I make. Whatever I give away is just the stuff that isn't useful to me. I pick up all sorts of things when I'm in town. Giving things like that to people who need them or who can actually use them makes sure they aren't wasted.
That makes sense. You've got to use up the stuff you've got after all. Hey, do you think you're like this because you didn't have much growing up?
I guess times were tough now that you mention it. The folks in my village definitely aren't rich. My dad had to go through a lot of trouble to get the recommendations I needed to attend the academy. That doesn't mean I've grown up to be stingy. It just means I don't like to squander. Anyway, enough of that. It's in poor taste to go on about your own hardships. I've always got time for a meal with a friend, and it so happens I picked up some choice meat today. Why don't we share it?
Now you're speaking my language.
I do like sandwiches.
Where is it? Oh, hello there, Ignatz.
Yes, hello, Hilda. What's the matter?
Oh, it's just that I'm looking for a book. I can't seem to find it anywhere. I think it might be on one of the high shelves. Could you give me a hand?
I'm really sorry, but actually... Some people got hurt while training in magic. I'm rushing to grab some medical supplies.
Whoa, that sounds serious. Don't let me stop you in that case.
Thanks. I'll be right back. Sorry to keep you waiting. Now, what was the book you were looking for?
Is everyone okay?
Yes, it turned out to just be some scrapes and bruises. Oh, is that the book?
Yes, I went and grabbed a ladder. That made the book much easier to find.
You could have just asked someone else for their help.
Well, you said people were hurt, so I just figured everyone had more important things to do. Honestly, I don't love heights. It was a bit scary up there, but here we are. I managed.
I see. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't help.
Why are you apologizing, silly? Surely first aid is more important.
I thought you might wait for me to come back, that's all.
Oh, but giving first aid, that's not an easy job. I figured you'd be worn out. The last thing I want is to push you too hard.
That's thoughtful of you, Hilda. Thanks for watching out for me.
Oh, don't mention it. Do my cleaning again and we'll call it even. You did such a lovely job last time. The floor was practically sparkling. I swear the air even tasted cleaner.
I'm glad you liked it. You're really good at giving compliments, you know that? I suppose that's why everyone's so eager to help you with things.
Exactly. By heaping praise on people, they're more eager to help me in the future. Oh, but that's not what's happening here. I was really, truly impressed by your cleaning skills.
I wish I had everything figured out like you.
I think I'm gonna pass out. Ah! Whoa, Lysithia? You're really pale. Yeah, I've been feeling really queasy all morning. I'm just heading back to my quarters to rest. Can you even make it there in that state? Here, climb on my back. I'll carry you. What? No. I'm not some sort of infant. Always worried about looking like a kid. No time for that now. Just get on.
I'm feeling a bit better now. I should be okay from here. Thank you so much, Leonie. I hope I wasn't too heavy. Was I?
No, not at all. Actually made for a fun bit of training.
Training?
Yeah, carrying someone around is good for the legs. You're just the right weight for it, too. I might ask you to help me train again sometime. Anything can be a kind of training with the right attitude, you know?
Are you always thinking about training?
Well, I can't devote all my time purely to training, so it's more efficient if I can train while I get other stuff done at the same time.
Wouldn't that actually be rather inefficient?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, for example, if you're training for endurance, it seems running would be a better approach. If you're only ever training by cramming it in with other tasks, you won't be getting the best results. I'm no expert on the subject, but even I can logic that one out.
Come to think of it, you do always seem to stick to a pretty rigid schedule, don't you? I've noticed that you focus completely on whatever it is you've set out to do. Then you switch to something else and focus completely on that.
You've noticed, have you?
Now that I think about it, you may be right. Maybe that is the more efficient way to do things. Hey, you're really bright, Lysithia. Thanks so much for the helpful advice.
That was sweet of Leonie to check on me and carry me all the way to my quarters. And in the end, I just lectured her. She did thank me for it, but I probably could have handled that better. Being kicked must have hurt, didn't it, Dorte? Do they think you won't gallop unless you're in pain? It must be difficult letting those brutes ride you.
Hey, Marianne, what are you up to?
Nothing.
Really? I was sure I heard you talking to someone. By the way, are you free right now?
Is there something you need?
I was about to go buy towels and soap, but the girls saddled me with all these specific requests. They want it all to look cute or to smell a certain way, but all that's just nonsense to me. I've always made my own towels out of old scraps and soap from used cooking oil. I've never given it much thought beyond that.
Oh.
But I've noticed you've got some really nice things, so you have an eye for that stuff, right? Obviously, I give you all the credit, and I'm sure everyone would be really grateful for your help.
No, I don't deserve that kind of praise.
Really? I don't think that's true. Come on, you'll be doing me a big favor.
My adoptive father tells me I shouldn't stray too far from the monastery.
That's nonsense. You've got to get some fresh air now and again.
I should stay. Besides, I wouldn't be much help. I don't think anyone would like whatever I pick out anyway. It would all go to waste. And I'm sure that having me around would just cause you misfortune, Leonie.
Are you serious?
I should stay here by myself.
Now, hold on just a second. You'll cause me misfortune? What kind of backwards talk is that? If you really don't want me around, then at least come out and say it straight. I'm sorry for the unwelcome invitation. Don't worry, I won't make the same mistake again.
Please stop being rude to Marianne. She's trying. She's just has a lot of baggage of some sort.
You've been an enormous help. Thanks so much. Excuse me. I have some more supplies that just arrived for the infirmary. Oh, were there more? I thought I'd gotten them all. I just have bandages and other small things, but there might be more coming. Well, I just got the boys to bring in the heavy bottles. Looks like we can't fit all of it without some rearranging, though. You know, if you'd arrived earlier, you could have helped me tidy up. My apologies. I don't really need your apologies. I need your help. Oh, okay. How can I help? How can you help? I said tidy up, didn't I? See the shelves there? See if you can clear out some space and tuck away the bandages. I can try. careful, Marianne. There's some strong stuff in those bottles. I'm sorry, No, look, just leave the bandages for now and move the bottles from the shelf. I can do that. Now the bandages fell. No! So in the end, I did it all by myself. I'm sorry that I was no help. I just got in your way. It's fine. We'll even it out with pastries. You want me to get you pastries? I guess I can. You seem so thoughtful and composed, but you're surprisingly clumsy. It's such an odd mix. I practically have no choice but to take over for you. You're right. I'm sorry.
And that's another set of supports all done. That wasn't too bad, as bad as the last time. But of course, there will be quite a few more to deal with. So, I'm going to end this episode here. And next time, on a very special episode, we're going to go save Flame for the third time. Because that's what we do. I imagine we'll be a lot stronger, though. Which, I don't know. Eventually, the game will outpace me. One day, maybe. No.